We imagine them as defenders against dragons and armies. But the medieval castle guard's greatest enemy was the desperate, lonely fight to stay awake. Come, find a comfortable place and let the world outside fall away. Tonight, we journey to the high, cold battlements of a medieval castle. We are not here to visit the king in his throne room or the knights in the great hall. We are here to stand a long watch with one of the most overlooked figures in history, the castle guard. We see him in stories, a stoic figure in a helmet, spear in hand, the first line of defense against a siege. We imagine a life of vigilance and readiness. But the truth of his existence was a far different, far quieter, and far more grueling struggle. This is the story of the man on the wall, and why you would likely not survive a single night in his place. Our guard's name is Finn, and his shift has just begun. The sun has bled its last colors across the horizon, and a deep, star-filled darkness has settled over the land. Below him, the castle is falling silent. The smells of cook fires and the sounds of the day have been replaced by the cold, clean scent of the night air and a profound quiet. For the next 8 hours, this small stretch of stone wall is his entire world. This is the first and most overwhelming reason you wouldn't survive a single night in his place. The mind-numbing boredom. His job is not to fight, but to watch. And mostly, there is nothing to see. The rolling hills below are a sea of blackness. The forest is a dark, unmoving smudge. He stands or he paces, 10 steps one way, a turn, 10 steps back. The repetition is a heavy, hypnotic rhythm. His mind, desperate for stimulation, begins to wander. He thinks of his small family and their hut in the village below. He thinks of the meager meal he ate. He thinks of nothing at all. This mental drift is his greatest enemy. For a guard, to be bored is to be vulnerable. To let your mind wander too far is to invite the one thing he fears more than any attacker: sleep. This is the second reason it sucked to be him, the constant war against exhaustion. Falling asleep on watch was not a minor infraction. It was a crime, often punished by a severe flogging, imprisonment, or even death. He was entrusted with the safety of everyone sleeping soundly below, and his failure could mean their doom. So he fights a silent, personal battle. He stamps his feet on the cold stone, the sound sharp in the quiet night. He shifts the weight of his heavy spear from one hand to the other. He recites the names of all the saints he knows. He counts the stars, a pointless, endless task. He does anything to keep his mind tethered to the present moment, to fight the leaden weight that pulls at his eyelids. The conditions are his enemy too. A bitter wind whips around the stone crenellations, seeping through the thick wool of his tunic and the padded gambeson beneath. It is a cold that settles deep in the bones. If it rains, he will be soaked through in minutes, with no relief until his shift ends. His equipment is not the fine plate armor of a knight. It is a simple steel helmet, a padded jacket, and leather boots that are never quite waterproof. He is miserably, relentlessly cold. And then there is the fear, not of an army, but of a single set of footsteps. The sound of the captain of the guard making his rounds sends a jolt of pure adrenaline through him, sharper than the cold. He must be found alert, walking his post, his spear held ready. The captain's job is to test him, to ensure he has not succumbed to the siren call of sleep. In this world, 99% of your job is boredom, and 1% is the sheer terror of being caught resting. Rarely, very rarely, something does happen. Finn remembers a night last winter. Not a grand siege with catapults and battering rams, but something faster and quieter. A small band of raiders, using the cover of a snowstorm, had tried to scale a remote section of the wall with ropes and ladders. The alarm was a single, panicked shout from another guard. The ensuing fight was not a noble ballet of swordsmanship. It was a clumsy, terrifying scramble in the near dark, a desperate, brutal affair of pushing ladders away, jabbing with spears into the darkness below, and the horrifying sound of men falling. It was over in minutes. Chaos, fear, and then silence once more. That night reminded him that while his life was defined by boredom, his death could be sudden, violent, and utterly unglorious. He was the first line of defense, which meant he was also the first to die. But tonight, there are no raiders. There is only the wind, the stars, and the slow, heavy passage of time. Finally, after an eternity, he hears the distant sound of the morning bell from the castle chapel. A faint gray light begins to soften the eastern horizon. His relief is a physical thing, a warmth that spreads through his cold, aching limbs. He has survived another night. He has won his quiet war against sleep. As his replacement arrives, they exchange a simple, weary nod. No words are needed. They both understand the struggle. The life of a medieval castle guard was not a story of glory. It was a long, slow test of endurance, a life of immense responsibility and low status, of mind-numbing monotony punctuated by mortal fear. So as you drift into your own warm, safe sleep, think of Finn. Think of the thousands of forgotten sentinels who stood watch on cold stone walls through the centuries. Their victory was not in a battle won, but in the simple, profound act of remaining awake. A lone guardian, keeping the world safe, one slow, silent, and incredibly long night at a time.